entirely aware of their true nature, and through something horrifying that happens in the first episode, it sets off a chain of events which leads him to realise their true nature. He sees that they are... Am I allowed to say that, Lisa? Yeah, okay.
Yes.
Yeah. There's a lot that's embargo. He sees them draining the essence of a Gelfling, and it's how they're prolonging their life. And he sets out on this quest to try and make his fellow Gelfling aware. So that's where he is at the start of the story. My character, his arc is it's a real kind of coming of age, cometh the hour, cometh the man type of thing. Yeah.
And he's joined by two friends?
Yes, two friends. Well, he meets them on the course of the story. Do you mean Gurjin?
Yeah.
Yeah, Gurjin, his best friend, who, to begin with, they sort of separated, but really, there are so many characters involved and so many different threads and stories. It's a really fully realized, expansive world.
And Mark, what can you tell us about this scientist? Because these are not good people. They're not even people, but they're just not good.
Yeah, I don't know how it happened, but somewhere between when I first played a certain berserk clown, I become typecast as a villain in voiceover. And it's funny because my agent was really disappointed. She said, "Oh, I wish you'd gotten Alfred." I said, "On Batman, you wish I'd got Alfred?" "Well, what are you talking about?" She goes, "Well, he's in every episode." You know. But listen, one thing I love about voiceover is because you can't be seen, you're liberated to make really bold choices you probably wouldn't make if the camera was on you. So, like I say, I was just a Muppet fanatic. The minute I saw them on the Ed Sullivan Show, they were just one of my favorite things in the world. And, you know, one of my career highlights to this day is being on the Muppet Show, the Star Wars episode. And, you know, I have to tell you, because your dad, we went over to meet, you know, Frank was already working on Empire, and he's just an incredible person, and we bonded instantly. You know, you meet certain people where you feel like, we've been friends our whole life. But I went over to meet the writers and the cast members and so forth. And these are people I've known for 30 years. Richard Hunt became so much a regular in my house, my kids called him Uncle Richard. But when I was first meeting them, Jim Henson said to me, "So Mark, is there something that you feel like you like to do on the show, whether you sing or you..." I said, "Well, you know, I've been known to do some impression." He said, "Oh, great, who do you do?" That's in the show. Because I say to Kermit, "Yay!" I do whatever my Kermit impression was, and he goes, "Great, who do you do?" And I didn't know him that well at the time, but he was just such a genuine and sincere person. He wasn't trying to make a joke at all. But so like to be able to do the things that you loved as a kid for a living, I'm the luckiest person in the world. Because when I was a kid, I kept thinking, what age limit do you reach when you stop liking comic books or stop liking the Three Stooges or Laurel and Hardy? Is there like a limit? Because I looked at my dad, he didn't like any of those things. And, so I'm so grateful because I still love all the things I loved as a kid, including the Muppets like I never thought it would come back, when I saw the original. Funny how, you would never dream that you'd go back to something that you were known for so long before. I want to ask, like when I meet the cast of Will and Grace, I'm going to ask them that question. Or when I, meet the cast of Veronica Mars. Was it weird coming back after all these years, when you didn't expect to ever come back? So, this is all like found couch money. Or, know when you pull out an old pair of pants you haven't worn in like 15 years and find $20 bill in the pocket? It's much more valuable than $20 because you didn't know you had it. So that's what this is like. And it was just a joy working with Lewis. He's so easygoing and he knows what he wants, but lets you get there yourself. I don't know about you, but it's exhausting to do that voice. Because it's not as difficult as when you're dubbing to lip flaps because it's not that specific, but you do what you call presence passes. Because you do 4-hour sessions and they don't go over even a minute because then they have to give you a bump. They don't want to do that. So always 4 hours, but after, so you're doing take after take after take after take. And in speaking in that voice, I mean, like Joker, you have to really pace yourself and warm up and so forth, so you don't strip your gears like starting your car in the snow. And then when we'd finish the scene, he'd say, okay, let's do a presence pass. And what you do is you look at the footage and put in like efforts and walking sounds. But through the whole scene, breathing, this and all that stuff. And after like a solid hour of that, you're getting lightheaded. Who needs drugs? Just do a presence pass. It's almost like, and it's legal, so. Hey!
I do want to.
Amount of craft that goes into the making of the puppets, the artistry of creating those features, and then the guys who operate them. We arrive and it's there. It's inspiring in itself. So, what the work that everyone else has done kind of feeds your performance. Really, it's it kind of almost feels. I suppose we're here and where the face is a bit promoting it, but we really are just the top layer of a very tall cake. Of lots of people who work very, very hard.
And your sets, how were your sets built? Were they above for the puppeteers to stand?
Yeah, it's kind of like, imagine this, it's 4 foot tall of the floor, and then we open it and we create path for the puppeteers, close it, but everything from a forest to a room to, it's really, again, like very complicated, and you see a little bit on those clips that we just saw, but you will get to see a little bit more. There's a documentary that will come after our show, explaining how we did it, how we pulled it off, and it's interesting.
And now, Lisa, why now? Why is this the right time? Because there are certain things in this story.
So Mark was in my first role in Kingsman Secret Service. We sadly never met, and I was heartbroken because. Can I swear? Am I allowed to say? It's this Luke fucking Skywalker. From a young age, as you are for so many little boys and girls the world over, you're a hero and a truly inspiring man, and just the nicest person. So it means a great deal.
All right.
That's the thing. We didn't work with any of these other actors, in Dark Crystal, and that's the preferred method. And back in the day, like when we did Batman, the whole cast was there, and you read it from page 1 in continuity to the end like a radio play. Now they like to micromanage your performance, so you're recorded separately, which is kind of a shame because, like musicians, when you hear the other actors' rhythms, or they give you a line reading that you didn't expect, you adjust your reaction and your response accordingly. So, but it's more control for the producer. They can micromanage every last syllable, right? So like Taryn was saying, that we came in and saw this finished, magnificent footage, and I was saying, who's playing that part? This cast is amazing. How come none of them? Where are they today? Where's Eddie Izzard?
Oh, yeah, the voice talent is incredible.
Come on.
And no.
Yeah, you have an incredible voice talent list on this.
I feel like we should read it out, but I don't have it in front of
It's
me.
like
It's amazing.
No, but
Helena Bonham Carter, Eddie Izzard.
But you know,
like,
it's funny. We tricked them. We got one guy. He was the fan, so he said yes immediately. So it's great. We got Taron. Then we went to see Mark. I was like, we got Taron. He's like, I'm in. And then you have Mark. That's how you fool actors. That's how you trick actors. Get Taron Egerton. Everything.
Woo! Take your shirt off, Derek!
some quick audience questions. Where are we going? There you go.
Well, did you see my tweet today? I did it in that tweet. Because, your essence is required in Hall Age at Comic-Con. 3:30 p.m. Essence.
Pay the rights.
Hey, that's a cool shirt, man.
My question is for Mark Hamill. Since you have acted in many different fantasy narratives, did you find it difficult deciding to bring your creative style to this narrative at this time in your career?
You know, like I say, I had a background. I'd seen it when it originally had come out, and I loved how daring it was. You know, I think that's some of the resistance in the beginning were people thinking that it's going to be like any other Muppet film, happy-go-lucky and goofy and funny. And like Taryn was alluding to, it's dark and scary, but kids love being scared. I mean, Wizard of Oz, come on, that's when you're 4. You know, you see the witch, you want to pee your pants. They scare the heck out of you, and I think that's a good kind of thing in a way. I mean, I think you can go too far, but this finds the right balance, and I think kids are going to love the darkness of it all. I know I did.
Woo!
I mean, young people, that's my crowd. The young and the mentally young. One of us. One of us.
One of us.
All right, don't make it a rally.
And actually has a plan for him right now. We've got to bring out the San Diego Comic-Con's Director of Communications, David Glanzer, to present Mark with a little bit of an award. So.
To present the 2019 Comic-Con Icon Award. I'm not going to say who it's going to yet. This award is our highest honor. It's presented to an individual or group who's been instrumental in creating greater awareness of and appreciation for comics and related popular art forms. The biggest challenge I usually face is that there's never enough time to list all of the reasons why a recipient is chosen, and this couldn't be more true today. This year's recipient has a long and dynamic career in so many areas of popular art. I remember, this is very true, I remember being so moved watching his dramatic performance, supporting performance in one of his early television outings, a Sarah T. Portrait of a Teenage Alcoholic. I was then surprised to discover that this actor was the same man who had comedy down pat in the Texas Wheelers. Early on, his career seemed to be a staple on television, but his talent belayed the actor, and this continues today. His chameleon-like ability to sometimes requires a double take to determine if the actor who played one favorite character is the same actor who played another. Mark Hamill is known to many for his starring roles in the Star Wars movies, his voice acting, most notably as the Joker, and for his directing and writing. His talent is so prodigious that I can't imagine there is anything he cannot do. He has been a tireless advocate for comic books, animation, movies, basically nearly every form of popular art that it almost seems that this award was made specifically for him. So on behalf of the Comic-Con Board of Directors, staff, and volunteers, it is my honor to award the 2019 Comic-Con Icon Award to Mark Hamill.
Till the end, more than a buddy, I'm your best friend. I love you more than you will ever know. I will never let you go. Another royalty for Bear Berry. Now I have something that's very, very special. They're going to ask you to put away your phones, but you won't mind when you find out what you get in exchange for that. If you all put away your phones, they're going to show you the full first episode. Now I warn you, it's on the honor system. You've got to put your phones away. You want to get risked. You don't want to risk being wrestled to the ground by a burly security guard, right? So put away your phones, enjoy the rest of the con, and thanks again so much for this.